Tell me back eyes. Where you been, bro? Man, I don't know. I don't know. Just been lazy, kind of. Just been chilling. I guess I don't know. I don't know. But we back though now. Everyone is wrong about Joel Embiid. Your take, not mine. Hoot reference. Shout out Hoot reference.
So here we are at the end of yet another week, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, there has been even more enticing matchups going down. Now,
my bad. Sure.
Become the most underrated player in the NBA because at every turn, people go out of their way to discredit him for his work. This week, we just witnessed what may be the most egregious omission from the starting lineup of an All-Star game we have ever seen, as Joel Embiid was not named. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, and Jason Tatum all got the nod ahead of him, and quite frankly, it's ridiculous to insinuate that any of those three have been better than Embiid this year. No matter how you try to spin it, Embiid has the edge pretty much across the board compared to any of them, and yet he gets the short end of the stick, as he always has throughout his career. Tatum is the only player of those three that is performing on a team with a better record than him, but Embiid comfortably clears him as a scorer, he's been better defensively, and he's dishing out just as many assists as Tatum, despite the fact that he's a center, who also happens to be leading the NBA in scoring. Giannis is notoriously one of the league's best two-way players, but while people love to hold the missed games factor against Joel, they move the goalposts when it applies to Giannis, who has missed just as much time as Embiid has this year for a team with a worse record than the Sixers. Then, compared to Durant, the same things apply, where Embiid's individual production on both ends comfortably clears him, while also doing so for a team higher in the standings. People love to hold Embiid's free throw shooting against him as if it's supposed to be a slight that defenders have to resort to fouling him in order to stop him, and then again they move the goalposts when it applies to Giannis Antetokounmpo, who literally shoots more free throws than Joel Embiid. The only way Joel will ever get the respect that he deserves is if he leads the Sixers on a deep playoff run, unfortunately, and he knows this. So it is a huge year for him because of the opportunity that the team realistically has to get it done. The next take...
Far as the Embiid take, yeah, it was crazy when we felt the other day he wasn't named the All-Star starter, but I understand why. When you got a person with KD's out and he claimed he wanted to be back for it, so if he do come back, they're not gonna put him with KD. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing is, they don't want to put three big guys, three big men. They don't want three big men. Giannis is the captain, so he automatically gonna start. So it's out of Embiid or KD. So they picked KD, obviously, Tatum, and that's what they started with. As far as MVP though, Embiid, he just beat the defending MVP. So hey, that speaks volumes, man. It's MVP on MVP next. So it's like, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, like I said, MVP, is he the most underrated player? It seems like for now, because like nobody's really giving him that real credit that he deserves, because he's really been hooping. You know what I'm saying? He's really been putting in that work. So yeah.
We'll be discussing today comes to us from D-Ballin, and he says that the Oklahoma City Thunder are the best young team in the NBA right now. The Thunder probably get the least amount of attention by the national media and by the average audience, because honestly, they haven't really had any kind of expectations.
I wear a few different hats as CFO, sometimes it's referred to as chief mixing officer.
For a few years now. When you rebuild, obviously patience is key to a successful process, but in the meantime, there's a lot of uninspiring basketball that doesn't exactly draw fans to tune in throughout. The assumption by most is that the Thunder fell into that category, but the truth is that they're actually progressing a lot faster than anyone realizes. Without looking it up, if I asked most of you to guess where the Thunder were in the standings, I bet I'd hear a lot of answers saying that they're at the bottom. But as things currently stand, they're literally just one single game back of the 7 seed in the standings right now, and they're just a game and a half back of being completely safe from even having to partake in the play-in tournament, which shows how close they are to making that leap. Yes, they're incredibly young and inexperienced, and in the end, this likely won't be the year that we see them take that leap. However, referring back to the original take here, I absolutely can get on board with them being the team referred to as the one with the brightest future amongst the rebuilding crowd. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a legitimate superstar in the NBA, scoring the ball with the best of them. Lou Dort is not only a lockdown defender, but a rising offensive threat. Josh Giddey is as versatile of a player as it gets, and the rest of their squad plays so hard and such a selfless brand of basketball every night to the point where they can keep up with anyone. The best part is that they still have Chet Holmgren to look forward to getting next year, along with another lottery talent added into the fray, so they absolutely could be the team with the best future right now. And finally, the
hot take for the OKC. They gonna make it to the second round if they go to the playoffs. Hot take. Well, depends on who they play. So let's say they play. I don't know. Hot take. They might. But hey, as far as OKC is, they the best young team in the league right now. You gotta think about the Grizzlies. You gotta think about the Pelicans. I know CJ kind of old. For them to be winning like this, yes, I will say that. Yeah, I'll say that they is. You know what I'm saying? We already know the Grizzlies good for this team, and I have really expectation. They doing the stuff that they do. It really shows. And yeah, yeah, they really doing their thing though. They really doing their thing. You gotta really give them credit. I was gonna say, oh, why they gotta take the get victory? They got shit. You gotta think about that. So they know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? This team's really gonna be something for real. So yeah. Let's go on to the next take.
last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Samuel, and he says that the Warriors and the Clippers are still dark horse contenders despite their early struggles. At the beginning of the season, these two teams were the favorites to make it out of the Western Conference in most people's eyes, so the fact that they're now being talked about as dark horses is pretty crazy, but seeing as they are in 5th and 7th place in the standings respectively, that's typically the range that dark horses find themselves in, so it's only right. Obviously, neither team has lived up to the expectations this season, and I don't think either should be the favorite necessarily to come out of the West, but when the playoffs roll around, I don't know if I'd trust some of these other teams ahead of them in the standings like I can trust them, so it's going to be hard to disagree with this take here. The Warriors are the defending champions and are far and away the most experienced team in the West. They've dealt with injuries consistently throughout this season, and they very well may end up proving that this whole season was just them on cruise control, knowing that they can kick it into another gear at the end when the season needs them to. The Clippers don't quite get the same benefit of the doubt, but Kawhi Leonard has been looking more like himself lately, and he's proven to be a big-time playoff performer as well. Meanwhile, a team like the Nuggets has a high-powered offense, but they have clear defensive deficiencies. The Grizzlies still haven't quite figured out how to continue their dominance when the game slows down. The Kings have not even played a playoff game in 17 years. The Mavericks are still a one-man show, and the Pelicans are incredibly talented, but are also equally as inexperienced. So despite what the standings look like right now, it wouldn't surprise anybody if the Warriors or the Clippers came out of the West because of the fact that it's so wide open. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes we discussed. Thanks.
Warriors and Clippers, dark horse. Clippers, I don't know. Warriors, we know what they can do. They got championship DNA, so they could do it. As far as the Clippers, I don't know, bro. They still doing this low management shit. I heard, like I said, I heard take them talking about Kawhi and PG. They keep doing this little thing where they think they could just hold out the season, and then in the end try to come play and think that you're gonna win. Like you gotta build chemistry with your team. So I don't know with them. They turned to a team where it's like